good. And then if you're joining us late, you can watch the full thing on IGTV always for every Monday. So anyone that wants to know that. Okay, so first get a pen and paper because I'm going to be giving you guys some good tips here and I don't want you to miss anything. And I know this video is about trusting the universe, but if you're like me, you're kind of like the skeptic type. And if you want more proof, I have a video coming out on my YouTube channel on Thursday about proof that the law of attraction works. So if that can help you believe just a little bit more, be sure to subscribe to my channel. It's linked in my bio, or if you're on YouTube here, of course, please subscribe to my channel as well. That's coming out on Thursday. So I have my notes here is what I'll be referring to. Like I said, I wanted to give you guys a lot of value, so I made sure to come prepared. So the first, I want to talk about why it's important to believe in the first place. It gives us support on our journey. So when we believe that our manifestation is going to come true and we're trusting the universe, we're trusting God, that lets us not be alone on this journey. I mean, if you think about taking a fun road trip, do you really want to take that whole trip on your own? Probably not. It's probably better if you could have support, someone there that can take the wheel when you get tired, someone to keep you company. And that's what trusting the universe is all about. It's about co-creating along that journey. So believing is going to help you feel supported along the way. So you're not feeling like you have to do this alone, control everything on your own. The next reason that it's really good for us to believe or how it helps us manifest is that it actually influences our actions and our thoughts. So our beliefs impact our thoughts, which impacts our emotions, and you can see, and our actions. And you can see how that affects how we manifest or what comes into reality. So let's say you're trying to manifest your dream job, right? If you believe it's going to happen, you're trusting in God, you're trusting in the universe that it's going to make it happen, you can see how that can lead to thoughts like, I'm worthy, I'm good enough, I got this. Lead thoughts like I'm excited for this next job interview. You can lead to emotions like hope, excitement, happiness along the way. And that will lead you to show up more engaged in these interviews, more excited to look for interviews because you have this underlying belief that's affecting the way you think and the way you feel, that affects the energy you give out in the world, and people want to be around that and they hire you. Whereas if you don't fully believe that God is going to give you this dream job, you have all these doubts that are kind of stopping you from believing it, you can see how that makes you feel a little bit more nervous, think more thoughts of hopelessness, and that's going to affect how you show up in the world, how you show up on interviews, and that's going to affect your reality. So the second way that trusting is really important, and sorry for my breathing, I'm 4 weeks to giving birth, so can barely breathe. This baby is pushing up on my lung. So that's why I'm kind of panting as I talk. But that's really going to be another reason why manifestation is so dependent on believing, because it affects the way you show up in the world, right? The third reason I want to share with you that it's believing is important is it shows God or the universe, whichever one you believe in, that you are ready. So if you are trusting in God, you're trusting in the universe, it signals to the universe that, hey, I'm ready for this. I'm not going to have these underlying feelings that, I'm not worthy or it can't happen. It shows that I'm really ready to receive. My thoughts and my actions and my feelings are all in alignment with what I want. And that brings what we want sooner, faster, easier, all those things. Okay, so now let's jump into the tips on how to trust the universe. So the first thing you're going to want to do is be aware of your resistance. So if you're having a hard time trusting the universe, that means you have some resistance to believing, and you want to figure out, when does this resistance, hi Tim, it's great to hear from you too. I was excited when I saw your name there. You're going to want to know when this resistance is showing up for you. So if you're having trouble trusting and letting go and letting the universe take over, and maybe you're controlling or you're forcing, or maybe you're just having doubts in the back of your mind, you want to figure out when you're feeling that way. What are the situations that are triggering you to not believe or triggering you to feel like you have to be in full control? And what are those feelings and thoughts come up when you're in those situations? So for me, for instance, one of the ways that I become aware of it is I usually am noticing that I'm getting really, really busy and my schedule is overtaken by lots of things to do and not necessarily impactful things. And then I start feeling overwhelmed. That is my trigger. That's my signal to let me know that I have some resistance to fully trusting in the universe, because somehow I filled up all my schedule and now I'm consumed with these emotions, this negative emotion of resistance that's consuming me, instead of letting things flow, trusting in the universe, and really focusing on what I can control and letting go of what I can't. So, emotional awareness is going to be really, really key. And that's the first step in trusting the universe, is being aware of the situations, the thoughts, and the feelings of when you don't. And that's called resistance. Okay. So once you become emotionally aware of what that looks like for you, not trusting the universe, you're going to move on to step two, which is to give your dream a little bit of space. Like, don't be so clingy, if you can think about it in that type of metaphor. You want to be able to hold your dream loosely with the idea and the philosophy, I want this or something better. So knowing that your dream can flourish, transform into something better than you ever dreamed in the first place. My husband and my child are great examples of that. They're both better than anything I could have ever expected in the first place. So you don't want to be so controlling and clingy with your dream, because that causes us to not trust the universe anytime something goes unexpected or not straight according to our plan. It doesn't mean you give up on your dream. It doesn't mean that you're not still aligned with your dream, but it does mean that you hold it a little bit lightly, that you're able to take on life's challenges as they come to you, not feeling like everything is a signal that you're doing something wrong or that it's not going to come true. Um, so you want to be more general if you can about your. So if you're having resistance, let's say you want to be a teacher and you start thinking about it so specifically, trying to control the way, trying to be like, okay, I'm going to be a college professor, I'm going to teach this subject, and it's causing you all these doubts and resistance really coming up, and it's making it hard for you to trust the universe because your plan, you can't see how it's going to work out. I want you to back off, be a little bit more general, and just say, I want to teach. I know my plan is going to unfold in a divine way. Give the rest to God and be more general. So you should only be as specific as it feels good. If you have any resistance, you want to back off and be more general. So that's one way that you can hold your dream lightly with the philosophy of this or something better, is to back off a little bit, be more general if being specific is causing you resistance. Another thing you want to keep in mind, as you are trying to hold your dream lightly, you don't want to suffocate it. You want to remember radical acceptance. So, what does that have to do with trusting the universe? So, as we go along to manifesting what we want, if we think about it again as that car journey, that road trip, there are going to be challenges. There might be bumps in the road. There might be flat tires. There might be all these things that come along our way as we're manifesting. And if we don't accept those things and go beyond just accepting them, radical acceptance means this was sent here to make me a better person and to transform me into who I need to be in order to become my manifested self, to become that person that actually manifests what I want. So you take each challenge, you accept each challenge along the way, and you don't look at it as, oh, God failed me again. The IVF didn't work again this time, or this debt is never going to go away. Now I have more debt. You think about it, okay, what has this challenge been here to teach me, and how's it going to transform me? Maybe I need to learn how to save. Maybe that doctor I was working with wasn't the right one, and prevented me from going into a health scare. You never know how the universe is working behind the scenes, how God is working behind the scenes to make your dreams come true. So as you encounter these challenges, you want to be able to, yes, accept the pain that comes with them, work through that, but also accept them as things that are sent here to make you better. And that's going to be able to help you hold your dream just a little bit more lightly, so that everything that comes along doesn't crush your faith, and you can still trust in the universe even as life's challenges, difficulties come along the way. So that's number two. Number three, and on that note, I want to tell you guys, I have a workshop that's coming up, a 3-day workshop starting March 24th. So it's not too late to sign up. It's completely free because I get this question all the time. It's 3 days to detach from the outcome. So if that's something you struggle with, you feel like you find it difficult to kind of let go, surrender, trust the universe, or to even just release that control, that workshop is going to be perfect for you. It's a video workshop with live Q&As. There's going to be prizes at the end. So be sure to sign up for that in my bio. Or if you're on YouTube, in the link below. Another thing I want you to do is to go deeper. I want you to increase your consciousness, which means digging into your unconscious and revealing what is underneath your inability to trust God or to trust the universe. There is a deeper meaning, there's a deeper reason that we all have when it comes to trust issues. Where did that come from for you? And once we bring that into consciousness, we become more aware of deeper reasons of why we're having a difficult time trusting, then it's far easier for us to move on to trust the universe and trust God. When we're walking around unconscious of why we're acting the way that we're acting, it will rule our life, and we will call it fate, as Carl Jung would say, has said in a quote. So we want to be able to become more conscious, live a conscious life, and dig deeper into the underlying meaning of why we have these trust issues in the first place. Why is it so hard for me to let go? Why do I feel like I always have to be in control? And so here's that, when that pen and paper is going to come in handy. I'm going to give you some journal prompts. Vulnerability is definitely scary and rewarding, for sure. And I feel like when we do release a little bit of control, it can feel vulnerable, and that can be difficult for some of us because depending on what life circumstances you've been through, vulnerability wasn't always safe. And so now we're shifting into that space of making being vulnerable in that way, of trusting the universe, something that we can program ourselves to feel safe doing in a safe way. So here's some journal prompts that are going to help you dig a little bit deeper. So the first prompt is, what's underneath my inability to give up control? If you can maybe journal about that, kind of start to think about what's underneath this inability. Number two, what beliefs support the idea that it's not safe to trust? So starting to think about those limiting beliefs that may be underneath your inability to trust, or your difficulty trusting God or trusting the universe. Are there any beliefs that you have, like life is unfair, or it's not safe to trust others? Thinking about those beliefs that might be fueling this difficulty. And then the third, I want you to think about, are there any past traumas or any past life experiences that are not allowing me to trust in God to be able to give me the future I want? So maybe something in the past has told you, maybe you didn't get a job after job, you had rejection after rejection, and that past events, those past life experiences are affecting your ability to believe in the future, to believe that God is going to make a way for you. Maybe you've had grew up in a traumatic childhood situation that said it wasn't safe to trust others with my safety, because if I didn't look out for me, nobody else would, and there was no co-creating. I was just in survival mode. So what are those past experiences that may be affecting the way that you look at the future? So this is going to help you go from looking in that rear view mirror all the time, if we use our metaphor of the journey again, to start looking forward. Because if we want to reach a destination, it's not going to be helpful to stay looking in our rear view mirror, right? We're going to crash. So how can we start to shift that by becoming more conscious of how we came to be this way, right? So that's some journal prompts that can help you go a little bit deeper into that. Um, my last tip that I want to give you guys to how to trust the universe is to stay prayed up. Or if you don't, if you're atheist or you're wondering or curious, you can think about it as setting intention. So I'm going to talk about it as staying as praying up. You can think about it in any way that makes you feel comfortable, but the idea is to set intentions with something outside of yourself, something higher than you, maybe your values, your higher spirit, your God within, whoever it is that, or whatever it is that you believe to be your higher power. You want to connect with this because from this place, from our inner spirit, our value system, that's where our dreams come from. That's where it's been put on our heart to want these things that we want to manifest in the first place. So the more we can connect with that part of us, the more that we can tune into that, the easier it will be to trust that, to trust that that spirit, that system is going to help you. So set intentions, connect with your inner spirit. You could do this by meditation, daily devotionals. You can do this by prayer, reading scriptures, yoga, mindful movement, tai chi. There's so many different ways that you can connect with your inner spirit. But the idea is to remember that the more we can connect with that inner divinity, that place where our dreams come from in the first place, the easier it is going to be able to trust in God, trust in the universe that our dreams are going to come true. The further we get away from it, that's when you'll start to notice more doubts coming up. Like, is this really going to happen for me? Am I really going to meet this man of my dreams? Because you're out there, relying on your ego strength or your mind chatter to stay faithful. Whereas when you tap into something greater than you, that higher self, that inner observer, then you're able to transcend that mind chatter, I like to call it, or ego chatter, that's giving you these self-doubts in an attempt to protect you, but really it's not helping you really believe in your dreams coming true. Um, and another thing that's going to be helpful to help you kind of tap into that um, inner spirit, to tap into connecting with your inner self, that higher part of yourself, is going to speak your desire for increased faith out loud. So, throughout many spiritualities, throughout many religions, throughout many even psychological research, when we speak what we want out loud, it does something to our system and it does something to our reality that changes it for the better. So the more you can even speak it out loud, I want to trust in God. I want to trust in the universe. I want to be able to believe and have faith. The more that you can say those things out loud, not just write them down, not just think them in your head, the easier it will be for you. So start saying that stuff out loud as well, not just keeping it on the inside. That's going to help you connect as well. If you're just joining us, like I said, yes, send that mind chatter away. Exactly. That's just ego. Yes, trust is something we can definitely build. It's like a muscle. So if you're just joining us, I'm talking about how to trust the universe, how to trust God on your journey to manifesting. I will save this video on IGTV, but just to recap, I talked about some reasons why it's important and how belief helps us manifest in that ask, believe, receive. It helps us feel supported along our journey, so we're not on our own. We're co-creating with the universe. Of course, you're welcome. My pleasure, actually. It also influences our actions and our thoughts when we believe. And then it also shows the universe, shows God that we are ready to receive when we're actually letting go of those doubts and we're trusting that God can provide us what we want, right? And the first tip that I gave was that emotional awareness, just being aware of those situations, those thoughts, and those emotions of when you're not trusting. What does it look like for you? Because in order to overcome it or to change it or to trust more, you have to know what it looks like when you don't trust. And when does it show up for you? Where are those situations, where are those triggers that make it difficult for you to trust in the first place? The second tip that I gave was to give your dream some space. Don't hold it so tightly. So you want to think with the philosophy of this or something better. That's going to help you believe more into your dream. The third one is to go deeper, reveal that unconscious, become more conscious, and really get at the underlying reasons of why trusting the universe, trusting God is hard for you in the first place. Do you have past experiences that are making it difficult to trust and to let go? Are there any underlying beliefs that you have about co creating or about trusting in God that you can take a look at that are affecting you? And if you look at the whole IGTV that I'm going to post, I gave some journal prompts to help with that. And the last thing I said was to stay prayed up, which just means stay connected to your inner spirit, keep setting those intentions for wanting to trust more, and really speak them out loud. In addition to the practices you're doing to connect with your inner spirit, I want you to speak out loud your intention to trust the universe more. That's going to help you on a day-to-day basis, really increase your trust exponentially. So all these things are really going to help you. If you really more dive with me in on this subject, I have that called 3 days to detach from the outcome, and it really helps us. The way we're going to detach is to really trust the universe more. So if you're interested in going deeper with me and not these like what I can do quickly here in these IG lives, I'm really going to give you prompts. I go through guided meditations. There's video trainings. It's all 100% free. I'm doing live Q&As, and there's prizes at the end. So join me for that as well. The link to sign up is in my bio, and on here on YouTube, I will put it in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me for Manifestation Mondays. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, and I will comment. I'm going to post this as an IGTV. Leave it in the comments or DM me. Super easy. Either way, or leave it in the comments here on YouTube, and I will get back to any questions. It's my honor to answer any questions. Other than that, thank you guys so much for joining me. I see some people just joined me. I'm actually about to end this one. But like I said, I am going to post it on my IGTV. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any other topics you want me to cover for Manifestation Mondays, just let me know either in a comment or in a DM, and I'd be happy to cover those as well. Thank you. Thank you. See you next Monday.